Rockets fired at U.S. Embassy in Iraq after series of attacks. Rocket and drone raids come after a series of attacks targeting the U.S. military in Iraq and Syria this week. American diplomats and troops in Iraq and Syria were targeted in 3 rocket and drone attacks in the past 24 hours, U.S. and Iraq officials said on Wednesday, including at least 14 rockets hitting an Iraqi airbase hosting U.S. forces, wounding 2 American service members. While there were no immediate claims of responsibility for the attacks, part of a wave targeting U.S. troops or areas where they are based in Iraq and Syria, analysts believed they were part of a campaign by Iranian-backed armed groups. U.S. forces, who have 2,500 soldiers deployed in Iraq as part of an international anti-ISIL (ISIS) group coalition, have been targeted almost 50 times this year in the country, but the last few days have seen an increase in the frequency of attacks. Iraqi armed groups aligned with Iran promised to retaliate after the U.S. raids on the Iraqi-Syrian border killed 4 of their members last month. 2 people were slightly wounded in the rocket attack on the Ain al-Assad airbase in western Iraq, said coalition spokesman U.S. Army Colonel Wayne Murado. The rockets landed on the base and its perimeter. He said earlier that 3 people were wounded. Commenting after Thursday's development, Wayne said each attack undermines the authority of Iraqi institutions and sovereignty. U.S. officials, speaking to Reuters news agency on condition of anonymity, said the 2 personnel injured were U.S. service members. One suffered a concussion and the other had minor cuts, one of the officials added.